Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Russia again launched a massive drone and missile attack on Ukraine on the 9th of 14th to the 15th of July 2025. The show must go on, it seems like. World War III has already started. Correct, it has already started, and the goal is destroy Russia. And unfortunately, the World War III will be probably fought in the end with nuclear weapons, and the World War IV will be with clubs from caves around the fire. All right, now these are two topics. The third one, Mr. Shmyhal, the former prime minister of Ukraine, the Jewish prime minister of Ukraine, he submitted his letter of resignation. It was accepted, and his new position will be as of defense minister, with his vast experience in military. So he was not only good with the finances, he's good with the military as well. Well, I think in order to count the money and enrich yourself, you need, to have a certain kind of degree. So he's going to be the defense minister of Ukraine, another Ukrainian in charge of Ukraine. All right, so these are the topics for this video, and just to make sure that we're not missing anything, we're going to discuss how far this could get and how this war, and why do we have a World War III. World War III is, it can be only one, and that is the global interest, which is certain mercantile interest who want to dominate and tell everybody what to do and be in control. Let's start with the first article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine's Air Force destroyed 178 Russian drones, 23 UAV strikes 7 locations. This is Tuesday, July 15th to 2025. All right, let's make it right. Russia attacked Ukraine with 267 Shahed-type attack UAVs and various types of decoy drones on the night of 14th to 15th of July. Air defense forces have destroyed 178 drones, and 23 UAV strikes have been recorded in 7 locations. All right, so let's see what we have here. 66 decoy disappeared. Besides, 23 attack strikes have recorded in several locations. Not very much on this one because they're still tight-lipped. That means probably the Russians succeeded in hitting some targets, and now they put the narrative on. So 267 it was? Yeah, 267 drones. I said missiles at the beginning, but I didn't mention anything in this article. All right, let's go to the next one. Russia Today. Dmitry Trenin. World War III has already begun. I totally agree with that. In the West's eyes, Russia must be destroyed. That leaves us no choice. That is, nuclear weapons. There you have. So, what do you think, my friends? Well, the goal is obvious. Is the elimination of competition. And it's not the European Union. It's the interest harnessing the United States of America and some in the European Union. That's it. You don't need to own each and every police officer over there to have corruption. You have to own a few, the chief of police and 2 other deputies, and you're good to go. You don't have to own everybody all the time. You have to get the ones in charge, and the ones in charge will give the orders, and everybody else will fall in line. Otherwise, they will be threatened with being fired or demoted or whatever else. So the same is here. Obviously, it's not only about Russia, it is about China, India, and the rest of the globe. Because if Russia falls, everybody else will fall in line, most likely, not North Korea, for instance, but you will talk differently. Like, for instance, the Baltic states, those three countries with a total population of 6.1 million people. They are so brave, so brave. You know why? Because the other guy is over there, and we're defended by this guy. Remember that movie, The Lion King? You had Mufasa, the bad lion, whom I like, and you got the Simba. And you got the hyenas all around Mufasa, the black-maned, scarred lion. Now, that was the guy. He had character in a way of that he got balls and he's got charm. The other guy was a lame motherfucker. But hey, we're supposed to love the lame motherfuckers because we're going to emulate like them, and when we go in a society, we're going to be lame. That's what it is. But hey, we're not going to lie, we're not going to cheat, we're not going to follow the rules, while they are not. So remember, the hyenas were strong only when Mufasa, the other lion, was around. When Mufasa was gone, the Baltic states were like, hi, how are you doing? The same thing with the Baltic states, Poland, and others in Europe. If the United States tomorrow, for whatever reason, is not there anymore, doesn't exist, all the countries, including the Great Britain, the bankrupt Great Britain that screwed itself politically, socially, economically, and culturally, will be all, hi Russia, why can't we just be friends? That's going to be coming out of all these tough guys now. The same thing here, my friends. Take that out, they're going to be shh. And eventually the Russians will use nuclear weapons and everything will end with these guys backing off and say, oh my God, that's it. All right, we played enough. Let's take our toys and let's go home. Or a smart guy who's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize is going to say, why can't we just get along, man? I think it was a misunderstanding, Putin. Do you think it was a misunderstanding? Let's start over. Let's try again later. Let's start over. We start over, befriend you, you invite me to your party, we're gonna go outside on the terrace, you and I, drinking a little bit, and you are right here, Ivan or Putin, and my name is, I don't know, Shmyhal, or who knows, Moses, or I don't know, whomever you want, and we just say, hey, Putin, the European Putin, how beautiful the stars are, and Putin's gonna say, duh. Well, and I think the comments, what's over there, Putin? And Putin, where? And I take my knife and I stab him in the back. And then I won. That's the new plan. We're going to befriend the Russians if we couldn't kill them like that. You'll see. That's going to be it. The Russians will have nuclear weapons. The whole baboonish thing, it was miscalculated. Why? They're going to get in bed with Russia and are going to do like that great Jewess from the Bible. I can't remember her name. Not Jezebel, but someone else, I can't remember her name, who killed that mighty king in bed, and everybody was like, oh my God, isn't that great? No, it's not. It's not great at all. You can worship that if you want. I don't. So, let's go to the Shmyhals of Ukraine, who are in charge of Ukraine. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine's Prime Minister submits letter of resignation, 15th of July. This is your Ukrainian because he looks very much Ukrainian as I look Zimbabwean. All right, there you go. He submitted his letter of resignation. There you have, and that's a nice handwriting. Beautiful. Bubka, trabaluka, tsokonja. All right, it's very interesting that they adopted they have the Cyrillic alphabet, but they use the Arab, how do you call it, letters system. Very interesting. I'm not saying anything, like criticizing. I'm just an observation. Thank you to our defenders who are holding the front line and protecting Ukraine. Thank you to President Volodymyr Zelenskyy for his trust. Thank you to the entire team for their tireless work for our country. Who's our country? Israel? What are I talking about? Anyway, you know what I mean. Next, Shmyhal resigns as Ukraine's Prime Minister after 5 years in office. Good. Now, I made a mistake. For now. People who watch me regularly know that yesterday when I talked about his resignation and being fired by Zelenskyy, I said that Shmyhal will end up somewhere in the economic sector, like in International Monetary Fund, or the World Bank, or something like that, somewhere where money is involved. And he is probably still with the money, now doing what Reznikov did. Remember what Reznikov did? He was a judge or an accountant. This is an accountant. Yesterday, from the Kiev Polytechnic University, something in economics, but he's going to be the defense minister. You have, I don't know, a goat herder being in charge of, I don't know, defense of a country. Whatever, man, screw your lives as much as you want. But then don't come to me. All right, so there's the Mr. Shmyhal. He will end up there. If he's not going to end up dead by a Russian missile or by the people surrounding him and holding him on a pole, then he is going to end up over there. It's not over until it's over, and I'll be here. And if he's not going to end up over there, I will tell you I made a mistake. As of now, yes, he's not there, but hey, I'm still waiting. It's not over until it's over. Remember Sylvester Stallone in the first movie, Rambo, when he's over there in the police station and his colonel comes, who trained him, comes and say, John, and Stallone is, you remember that one? And John, it's over, my son. And then Stallone, it's not over yet, it's not over yet, it's not over. That's exactly, it's not over yet with Shmyhal. Wait. And if it's going to be over, I'm going to come and do the... All right, let's move to the last. Actually, not the last. I have 2 more articles. New Voice of Ukraine. Shmyhal to Defense Minister. Umerov to US Ambassador. So this is... this is a Jew. And this is a Tatar. But hey, this is the Ukrainian flag. And this is the Ukrainian flag. They must be Ukrainians. Got it? So this is going to be the representing Ukrainian nation in America, in United States of America. And this guy is going to be the defense. He's going to defend you, my friends, right there. Because he's got a flag. Sonejote, is that how we call it? He's going to defend your flag. He. Why? Because you don't have balls as big as he. You need an alien to come in your country and do it for you. Got it? Don't you feel insulted by that? Prime Minister Shmyhal's experience will be useful as defense minister. Like what? The experience in what? I tell you, in racketeering. That's, I think, his only experience Mr. Shmyhal has. Remember, when this started, the whole thing garbage started over there, you had these 4 little pigs in charge of Ukraine. All Jews. Just a coincidence. They just... Pak, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you count in Yiddish? Zok, pok, lok, mok. Okay, zok, pok, lok, mok. Right, so Zelenskyy, Pok, Shmyhal, Mok. Then you got, what's his name, Reznikov, Blok. And you got Yermak, Kapalok. There you go, all 4 of them. And just a coincidence. But they were in charge of the Ukrainian nation. They couldn't find a fucking Ukrainian, blue-eyed and round-headed and with blonde hair. I'm just kidding. They couldn't find anything like that? I guess not. They need to get this from import, right? Why? Because they don't have no problem using the Ukrainian nation for those guys' interests. That's why, if you guys know, and if you don't, let's go back. I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. What experience he has? Anyway, in the communist times in Romania, I know that for a fact. I'm very familiar with that. When the Soviets were allowed by the free world to take over Romania, that's how we became communists. Because the Americans sat down with the criminal Stalin and they divided the world. They took over the world, like they stopped the mustache guy, the Vienna artist guy, taking over the world. Why? So we can take over the world. And we took over the world with the good ones, allowing the bad ones to take half of the world. Now, what do you call that? You tell me that was justice? No. So when the West, the good girls, the democracies, the civilized world, allowed the baboon, the Georgian baboon, Stalin, and the Kaganoviches, and the Yogodas, and all those guys over there to take over, Romania, Poland, and so on, Eastern Bloc, and they imposed their guys. They came with Anna Pauker with Walter Roman, with people that were not Romanians. They placed them in charge of Romania. Got that? Anna Pauker being Hannah Robinson. Coincidentally, she's also Jewish. Right? And after that, what happened? They placed in charge of the security forces, police, and military, their people. Why? If I take over your family, and I come over there as a boss, I'm not going to appoint as the chief of police your son, and the chief of the intelligence your daughter, because these guys will hate me. They will stage a coup in a second. If I tell your household, I have something here. When I tell your household, I want you to attack the other household, or go against your own people in your own country, your daughter and your son might not follow my orders because they say, you are a foreigner. You are an outsider. What are you doing here? You have us kill our own people for your interest. But if I put people from my group in charge of you, or people that don't like your group inside, then they will follow my orders. They have no problem using you as a cannon fodder to kill whomever or your own things. So the same, let's say in Romania it was like this. You got a Hungarian, ethnic Hungarian, in charge of, let's say, a police unit in a very much Romanian area. Why? Because you knew as a communist that if you tell the Hungarian to give orders to shoot at a Romanian uprising, he will have no problem giving that order because he doesn't like those guys. And vice versa, you had Romanians in the mostly Hungarian areas because you knew when you're going to give the order to that Romanian to shoot those ethnic Hungarians, they will have no problem. And the same thing was with the gypsies. You put a gypsy somewhere and you say kill, they have no problem with that. No problem with that. Why? These guys oppressed me. So that's why when I see United States of America, people like Lloyd Austin and the other guy, General Brown, being in charge of supposedly the U.S. military, and maybe one day going to be given an order, we'll have no problem on take care of people like me, for instance, for past discrimination. You know what I mean? An oppression. Be careful. So then you have 4 guys here that had no problem getting the Ukrainian nation, the blonde and the round-headed and the blue-eyed Ukrainian, fight for those interests and be dead to fight their brothers of the same kind for these guys. They had no problem. Maybe a Ukrainian would have been a little bit more, should we do this? I mean, these are my people, unless you're a criminal. And that's why sometimes you have other people to make decisions from other groups. They have no problem giving whatever order he is given to give. I don't care. Remember Madeleine Albright? I always say that. She had no problem with the 500,000 Iraqi children. Those were Iraqis. They were not Israelis. So, je m'en fous, right? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. These guys are still owned, and until there will be Ukrainians over there to fight for their interest and babooned by their media, they will be eradicated by the Russians. Unfortunately, these guys are thriving on other people's tragedy. And we know that. Can you do something about it? No. No, what are you going to do? That's why they do it, because they know we can't do anything. What, uprising, coup d'etat? Get out of here. Stay strong, stay smart. Or maybe my Ruger and my Colt and my AK-47s or something. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth and be just.